as we get into what we're going to be looking at this morning, and very lovely to have you in the room. Our audience on KTN, Karibu Sana. Our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Great thing is that as you go about your business, you can plug into the conversations. And we're very happy this morning to have former woman rep Kirinyaga County with us here, Purity Ngirici. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And you, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Just too much rain, right?
There's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
There is. Karibu Sana, we're glad that you could make it this morning. We understand yesterday was a bit of a pickle.
It was quite a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took several routes trying to get here.
Yeah.
But we couldn't.
Yeah.
We got here really late, and we said, at least maybe probably you slot us today. Mm-hmm. And we're glad you did that.
Yes.
So thank you.
Well, happy that you're here today. We're going to be talking about a number of things. And it's interesting because as you sit in this chair and you are soft-spoken and quiet, we see you very differently on the campaign trail. And perhaps some of that will come out in this conversation that we will have.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we look into political realignments or shifting alliances and what all of this is about. As we do, this is your first time in the Situation Room. We're very happy that you can be in the hot seat.
Yes, it is.
It's been a long time coming, but we're glad that you've joined us today. And for us to then be able to look into a number of things.
Thank you.
We go around the African continent every week. We land in a different country. Whereas we bring other things back. One of the things we do bring back is their proverbs. And so we share those every day. And then we would love to get your interpretation of the same. This week, we're in the Kingdom of Eswatini, formerly Swaziland, but that has been changed. There's a lot of culture that has been withheld by changing that name, or rather that has been held onto by changing that name. The proverb this morning is this: a person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the man doing it.
All right.
What do you think about that?
It's a very powerful proverb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because actually it speaks about people who believe in impossibilities,
Mm-hmm.
staying away from people who try to make it happen.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really a powerful one. When you look at around situations like in Kenya and many other African countries where you find a lot of people have been boxed into not talking. And when there are people that are talking, there are people that keep telling you, don't try to do it. Maybe you're going to get killed. Maybe you're going to, things may happen to you. So you're told, stop scaring away people who may help the situation.
Indeed. By your like, negativity, don't scare them away.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see... Mweshime is talking like I was talking in the morning. I'm sure she was not listening to me. Yeah.
I don't know.
But I said that.
You who hang in these political circles, I'm not sure.
No.
Well, let's see.
No, I'm a prince. Come on.
Of course.
I said this a prince.
Okay.
It comes from a kingdom.
Okay.
And I come from the only kingdom in Kenya.
All right.
It's the only kingdom in Kenya.
Okay.
Which one? Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a kingdom. I read about it in primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you find out I was not lying. No, come on. Give me my flowers. Or my crown.
Your crown. You already have the crown, so let's give you the flowers. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into this morning. You were the Kirinyaga woman rep at around the time where there was a lot of jostling in that particular area between yourself and the current governor of Kirinyaga and those who wanted to be members of parliament in certain areas. Geshogo, a big issue. Kirinyaga County itself, obviously, as part of the mountain area. And one would also say a darling of the current administration, but that seems to have changed a little bit. How so?
Well, we won't call me a darling of the current administration.
Maybe not anymore.
I was a darling when we entered into the Jubilee administration. We were good friends.
Okay.
We worked through the trails together in 2017, and while we were at it, somehow we had conversations concerning leadership. What was happening then? What can be done better? And because the president then was doing his last term, there was going to be somebody who was going to get it anyway. So we got into a conversation. We started now campaigning against a few things that happened that didn't really look really good. And I would say then I was a bit of a political greenhorn, maybe.
Okay.
And from what I learned then, I started now my mind started opening up, and I realized, well, there are things that you must stand with your people. There are things that you must stand for. If you must be counted, you must stand for something. And while we went on, there was the Kenya Kwanza. Then the UDA was born, and I was in Jubilee, so I couldn't move into UDA. And we went on and campaigned together.
Yeah.
But along the way, towards the end of 2021, thereabout, we disagreed in principle. And I said, well, it's no longer about what we believe in, but I think there are some things that we are not telling people the truth. And when we don't talk the truth, I'm a Christian, I don't want to lie, and I have to answer for somebody's lies.
What are some of those things that you say the truth was not being told about?
Well, there was a lot of things. Okay, the things that came up first was issues to do with what we were going to provide Kenyans that was not happening.
Okay.
And I said, well, I think it is not correct to say that we are going to give people money that is not available unless we know where that money is going to come from. Okay. I was in the finance committee before I was removed, so I knew what is collected. I knew what the budget committee budgets for. So some of the things that we were telling Kenyans, I thought were not right. And again, within the caucuses and when you speak, you realize some of them are not serious with what they are saying. I wouldn't say the names, but I would say I realize some of these people are not serious. We're just saying it so that we can get the seat. And I said, well, I don't want to go with this. And, well, I left. And now that I left, well, they fought me down there, and I lost by a very, very small margin to the current governor. And, well, I said, fine, I hope you provide what you promised.
Right.
And, well, they haven't been able to provide. So that's one of the things. The things that really, things that are dear to me. And I feel if you cannot provide something, just be honest and say it is not possible. Probably, if we move this route, we are going to attain it in the next 20 years. And I think a Kenyan is human enough to understand that you don't wake up in the morning and you're rich and you're poor yesterday. Yeah. So those are the things that made me say, okay, well, I do not want to be in UDA then. And I ran on an independent ticket.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, if there's anybody who left UDA long time ago, before even they entered, because I was still in Jubilee, so I even never joined UDA.
Yeah.
So I've been partyless, per se. Yeah. Since then, I've been partyless. Even when I got into Kenya Seed, I was still partyless. Yeah.
Why did they appoint you as a board member of Kenya Seed?
Okay. One, Kenya Seed is a PPP. And they are private shareholders, and there's a government with 52%. And they actually, you apply for a job, they advertise. ADC advertises for a director, and you apply.
Right.
So I applied. And then there's an AGM, and there's actually people vote. There's an election. And in the election, people vote. The private shareholders, ADC, and then they put together the board according to the number of the votes that you got.
Okay.
And then when we got in, the other board members thought it right to elect me as chair. That is why I was very surprised that Badi will write and instruct a person that I give a job, that is the MD, the managing director, to put together a committee, I think, to fire me or something. I saw that letter. It was all over the media.
Yes.
So I was surprised. I was like, the MD cannot fire me. I am the boss of the MD. So it wasn't okay. It wasn't right. But I thought when they start playing such jokes and funny kind of game, I don't want to get involved. So that's how I left, and I tendered my resignation.
When did you tender your resignation?
On 27th
of April.
Yeah.
Did this rescinding of your position have anything to do with the political announcements that you had made just a few weeks before that about your direction in the upcoming election?
Incidentally, I have not agreed with the current administration on a lot of things right from the beginning.
Okay.
Especially during the Gen Z issues. You will see me in churches and in places, and I spoke very clearly, and I said, I am not going to support. Police are trained to take care and guard Kenyans, our interests. And they should not, at any one point, kill any Kenyan, because we have police cells, we have jails. If somebody has stolen, if somebody has broken into anybody's business, there are normal. There's no more route that is taken. There is law. We're not in a banana republic, so there is law. So they were supposed to arrest and take them to court, and everything will follow. So I never agreed with the current administration on a lot of issues. Other issues that came about were, we had earlier indicated that we were going to give guaranteed minimum returns to people who grow these cash crops, export cash crops. What happened? Nothing of that sort. It went into the thin air. We were just telling people a lot of boo. Nothing. We were not going to do anything. So those are things that I started speaking to my people. So it was just not about that. Just that I never had said one term. But that day, I went to Kibingoti, and those mamas are my very good friends, and I'd gone to a church around there, and there was some uniforms I was going to deliver to the choir members, and then people came into the church, and there was a very big crowd. So I told them, this is church, let's leave, and we go into the grounds, and then at the grounds we are going to have a conversation. So we went to the grounds, Polytechnic grounds there, and somehow people ended up asking me loudly, I have to declare my stand. And I told them, wherever you go, I go. I will stand with you. Yeah, I'm your person. If you say one term, I say one term. It is. And before 4:00, a letter was circulating. And the previous day, one of the board members had told me, we are convening a board meeting to discuss you and your conduct. And I said, if these guys decide to paka you matope, I don't want to get there with them. So I just said, well, I think it is enough. I have read this, I have led this company. I have brought them from 18 million kilos of seed to 45 million of kilos of seed, and now they're going to be attaining 70 million kilos of seed. And I thought, well, I have done my part, and I can leave them to just continue.
Maybe, Madam Ngirici,
Yes.
I began covering you immediately you were elected. I wasn't at Standard yet, but during the run-up to 2022 elections, I was based in Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
Now, you say your point of departure with UDA was in principle.
Yes.
But we remember initially the current governor, Madam the Honorable Waiguru, was Jubilee.
Yes.
Because remember that UDA began as a faction within Jubilee.
Yes.
Created a mutiny within Jubilee.
Yes.
It actually crystallized into a party.
Yes,
and before you could register it, but you people were actually coalescing around the current president. Then he was a deputy president.
Yes.
Is it not that maybe the point of departure was because eventually when the current governor was saying nasikiza ground, then she came and said you can only rent a Kikuyu. She jumped ship from Jubilee to UDA. Is it the point of departure? Is it in principle and ideologies, or having been denied the UDA ticket in favor of the current governor, of the incumbent then?
Well, that didn't actually, it didn't move me much because I would have gone for a nomination. We would have gone for a nomination exercise. But what happened is, first, I was called and I was asked to step down in her favor.
By whom?
Yes.
By the president?
Yes, then our leader.
Okay.
And when he told me to, he actually asked me if I could run for where? MP. And I have been very clear and categorical, and it is the truth. And when he told me that, I said, what will I tell my people? Let's start from when nobody stood with you, when you had less than 5 people with you, I was there. When nobody believed in you, I was there. I walked with you. I didn't care if I was going to be kicked out of the party. But this time that you're telling me to go and run for where? What will I tell them? I've been telling them I'm going to run for governor. So that was one of the things that we didn't agree on. And when I decided to stay a little bit and listen and wait and see if they're going to give me the opportunity to go for nominations, which they didn't. And they said, well, we're going to give direct tickets. And that's when I said, well, I think enough is enough. Yeah, I said, I am going to run for governor. So even if the owner of the party comes and tells you, go and run in a constituency, that tells you already you're done. Your goose is cooked.
He's already made up.
Yeah, when I realized my goose is cooked, I said, well, I think the best thing is I have a vision. I have a plan for Kirinyaga people. And I think I still want to implement that vision. And I said, well, let me just move away and run on an independent ticket, which I actually did, strongly did so, and lost by a very, very small margin.
Okay, so is the independent ticket option still one that you will pursue in the 2027 election?
No.
Why?
When I realized independent is really a big job, because one of the things that I have realized along the way is that Kenyans believe in parties. And for an independent person to win, you must also be affiliating yourself with a party. So I wouldn't want to be in that position where I will look like I'm lying, that I am affiliating myself maybe with a preferred candidate for presidential candidate and then still run on independent. I would rather be in a party where I can get MCAs that we shall have the same manifesto, so that we can speak the same language when we are at the county level. I mean, when we are doing business at the county, we can be able to agree on certain issues because we are working together in a manifesto. As opposed to being there, I'm the governor, they are from a party that has a manifesto. As an independent candidate, I have my own manifesto. And I will give priority probably to what I believe and what my manifesto is, as opposed to what they have. So I would rather we have somewhere that we can meet.
You have a party already, or is there a party that, of course, we've seen a DCP is a sort of we've seen the party leader of DCP, Rigathi Gachagua, telling aspirants for various positions, if you don't come to my party, you'll not be elected. Are you falling into that trap? Are you not really falling into that trap, but are you going to that bandwagon? Because remember that when the Muranga governor indicated that he will not be seeking re-election on a UDA ticket, he's actually keeping his options a secret to himself. But from a political, remember that when Moses Kuria was saying, you are lying, you'll be going to DCP. Madam Ngirici, maybe to be on record, are you seeking election as governor for Kirinyaga on DCP?
Do I have the manifesto for DCP? I don't. Do I have manifesto for any other party? I don't.
Still early.
Yeah, it's still early. Yeah. But there are things that we agree. I agree with DCP, very many things. I agree with other united opposition parties, a lot of things. So in my opinion, it's I'm going to be there, look into the manifesto. Is it agreeing? Is it something that is applicable? Can we implement it? Is it something that can be achieved even in the near future within my county, within the country?
Okay.
Is my county being promised anything in that manifesto? Does it look like it is going to be good for my people? Yeah. Are they thinking about them? So those are some of the things that I'm considering and looking into. But one thing is sure, that the people in Kirinyaga County, I will not talk about other counties, but I will tell you for free, in Kirinyaga County, the people have decided that the current administration is not with what they want, is not taking them the route they would have taken, the route they would have wanted to go. It's not helping. So that's a done deal.
And to take that into consideration, that not too long ago, the people of this county seemingly agreed with what the current administration was selling, and they took it hook, line and sinker and went with it. What changed, if anything, over time? Is it the same thing that changed for Purity Ngirici, where she said the things that we were promising these people, it was not going to happen? You said that you could see from the get-go that you were lying to people.
I listened to internally. I listened internally. And I realized we're just giving a story. It's a song we're singing. It's not a real song.
It was a lie.
A lot of it didn't seem that...
You can say it. It's okay. This is a safe space. That if it was a lie, it was a lie.
It's something that won't work. And that's why I left.
Yeah, okay.
And other people actually ran into it because it's where people were at that time, and it's what had been sold, and it's what that had been bought at that time. Okay, and I parted ways, and I went and told my people,
okay,
that some of these things are not a reality, and will never be realized. You better change. And that's how I lost a few of the votes. Actually, before I left UDA, at that point, I was doing at the opinion polls, I was doing 80%. And after I left, that's when it went down to 49. That's where I had 49.3, I think, and Waiguru had 49.5. So we disagreed at a very, I think it was 47.3 and half, 47.5. And in our disagreement, my disagreement with the party, people didn't believe what I told them. And these days I'm going and telling them, remember I told you that I was inside there. And when I'm out here, I'm telling you the truth. It is not all rosy. And now they agree when I told them that we promised you 300 shillings per kilo of coffee. And you will never get it unless you have this. This is followed.
Yeah.
And of course, it is not followed, and it's not going to happen with this administration.
How much are the folks in Kirinyaga getting for a kilo of coffee?
157.
157.
Yeah, that's the highest, I guess.
You mentioned that this administration is not working for the people. Let's just zero in on Kirinyaga, because that's the point of interest here for now. Because what you can look at in the county then is possible to be extrapolated as an idea for the rest of the country.
Yeah.
You said that some things things have not worked.
Yes.
What are these things that have not worked?
Departing from the previous administration that helped the rice farmers, when they did Thiva Dam, it was to increase the production of rice. When they got, when Kenya Kwanza got into the space, there was one small dam remaining in Kandongo that had not been finished. Up to date, it has not been finished. So there's no increase of rice farming. That said, there is rice still. The previous administration was able to purchase rice from the farmers at 90 shillings per kilo, so that they could be able to dispose it, so that the farmers could go on farming and have money. Right now, as we speak, due to the duty-free rice that came in the last 3-4 months, rice in Mwea is being bought. They're selling. The farmers are disposing it at 65 shillings per kilo, which is way below their production cost.
Yeah.
That's where I was born. That's my home. It's painful when you see farmers who had been doing very well now are doing so badly. They are crying. Those are some of the things that will make me.
Is it because the market is flooded with the?
Yeah, the
rice
flooding
from,
was. Yes, the flooding was an issue because the rice that was brought from outside, duty free, was almost similar to what we grow there, the pishori. So what has happened? People are going for this one, and our pishori has been left. Okay. Again, we had Kemri that was being built in Mwe.
Yeah.
What happened to it? After the previous administration left, the Kemri is just there lying.
Not finished?
No money. Yeah, nothing has been, no money has been put to that Kemri. Okay? Allocated for the moving forward with the building. And it was supposed to be the cancer center. It was supposed to be a big hospital. It was supposed to be a research center. It was supposed to be everything, many things. And the Kirinyaga people had given a whole 100 acres, you know. Moved to tea. Instead of reducing the number of levies on tea, they're being increased. How will I clap? Roads that were done by the previous government. I'm just hearing them saying that they're doing roads. Where? Because Kirinyaga, there are places the previous government left like 3 kilometers.
A stretch of 3 kilometers?
Yes. A stretch of 3 kilometers is what was remaining after they'd done maybe like 30. The 3 kilometers are still the same. The thing about this government is just about promises. I do not want to promise anybody anything you are not going to deliver. Just promise what you can deliver. That's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a place where devolution and its practice through governors and the members of the county assembly meet at a crossroads with national government and policy.
Yes.
So whereby we know what devolution was meant to do in the constitution, whereby you decentralized government and that there's certain operations and that you allowed certain regions to control so that you would then bring about development and that you could then now move economies to an extent.
Yes.
But that doesn't take away from the executive policy position of government.
Yes.
So how would it change with a governor in place to say, for example, that whereby government policy through the Ministry of Agriculture would be to make food available for the country and would import a commodity vis-a-vis county government that is trying to ensure that the livelihoods of its people through activities such as farming then is protected. The two must meet at some point and create some kind of equilibrium. How would a county governor be able to deal with that issue, which is political, but it's also policy? How then do you say that so that the people can be kept happy then to say, yes, it is purity that is making sure that this is done? How would you do that?
Okay, well, I will say one thing. When you talk about policy on like food production, it has been very clear that the county government, the agriculture is devolved, whereby the county government is supposed to take care of the farmers within the county and make sure that their produce is well guarded, especially when it comes to infrastructure to get the food stuff from the farm roads, the in-farm roads. When you talk about the markets where they're supposed to do their sales and all that, and when you talk about even the farm production, providing things like subsidized fertilizer and also helping them with pesticides and all. But the national government, on the other hand, is supposed to bring in and make sure that there's enough food in the country. Well, here is a situation where the country and the people have been able to produce
Okay.
But there's some very greedy people within the government that want to also make a killing out of the foodstuff that is being produced. That is now where they do not agree. Because I thought that the national government and the county government must have agreed initially to know how much product or produce is within your county, and how can we be able to bring it into the market to make sure that it is circulated and these people have made money before we bring in food from outside, right? But what has happened, it's like there's a lot of disconnect between national government and the county government,
Yes.
and even our ministers. Because I was wondering how the Minister of Agriculture then would not be able to have stood with the farmers of Mwea and Kirinyaga. Right now, you see Mwea and I think Lloyd Tok. We are the highest producers of things like tomatoes in areas like Kagio. You find that we produce a lot. Our produce of tomatoes, right? A few days ago, we were even feeding the tomatoes to the cows. And right now, one case of tomato, how much is it?
One tomato is 20 shillings.
About
One tomato is 20 shillings.
Yeah.
So what could have been done by the county governor to make sure that those tomatoes that were going into waste were not wasted? That's why we talk about doing the industries in the county government, in the counties. You know, if Kirinyaga, we had a tomato industry where we can do
the county aggregation.
The aggregation. We can add value addition to the tomatoes in Mwea and other places that are growing tomatoes. We would be at a different level right now, isn't it? Yeah, because I know a lot of other people that use things like tomato paste would have done that, exported our tomato, and still had enough tomato to use right now. Now, you see, that's where we are not even getting the equilibrium we're talking about, even in the prices of stuff within the country, because there's a lot of disconnect between the county governments and the national government. If there was a good understanding, then we can be able even to control these prices, not by controlling them by putting law to control the prices, but controlling it by providing enough for both that the farmer is getting, and as the consumers, we are also safe.
Are you saying that the current governor has not been able to fulfill or achieve what a mandate would have been that she set out? There seems to be satisfaction in some quarters that, markets have been completed. Affordable housing, which at this point is a national project, then has been, allowed in certain parts of Kirinyaga, that the hospitals are functioning, markets functioning, cess levies gotten from that to be able to sort out things like own source revenue have been taken care of from a county perspective. You smile as though this is not the case.
Well, I'll say I hear people complaining about hospital. And I've had a lot of issues arising from medical facilities, and but I won't say that she has not met her mandate, because it all depends on what was her manifesto.
Okay.
What was she prepared to do? So what she has achieved is what she was prepared to do. But what is lacking is probably it wasn't in her manifesto. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say that it's her problem that she hasn't achieved certain things. Maybe they were not there. And of course, people must have learned from her speeches, what she promised to present. It's for the people to say. But as far as I'm concerned, I think I have had a few issues, or quite a number of issues. Markets are there, but are they finished? Some of them are, some are not. There are still some mamas here and there from the people who work in the markets. Yeah. So I mean, mine is not to say what she did or didn't do. I think it's too early now to start giving a
Scorecard.
A scorecard.
Yeah.
We have to wait, and the people will give a scorecard, and they will know whether they got something that they will call a legacy or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could ask, let's not confine you to Kirinyaga, because you've served there and you still will maybe want to serve as now in another position as governor. You paint a picture of an angered lot, and a lot that is actually disenfranchised.
Yes.
Kirinyaga.
Yes.
Is that feeling just confined to Kirinyaga or the whole of Mount Kenya? And of course, if they are angered, they may express their anger on the ballot. Is it that is there just a feeling within Kirinyaga, or it cuts across the whole of Mount Kenya?
Not only
In terms of unfulfilled promises, projects?
Yes. I will tell you that it's not only Mount Kenya. I'm saying it's Mount Kenya and not only Mount Kenya. I mean, I was lucky the other day to have traveled to several counties. And I will tell you, the song is the same.
Like which county?
I was in Kilifi the other day. When I went to Malindi, and everybody is complaining about the cost of living. I was lucky to have gone to Machakos. Cost of living is an issue. I have been to Trans Nzoia, where I worked, and things are the same there. Actually, their voices are louder than even Mount Kenya. I've been to Kakamega. They are complaining. It's across the country.
Maybe just an interjection. One will argue that, of course, we live in this country, and there's a way politicians have actually zoned this country in terms of counties that are stubborn, in terms of they're not really for the establishment, and maybe for Trans Nzoia, we even the county leadership of Trans Nzoia claims that the president has never set foot there for development tours. You've mentioned it. You are mentioning Kakamega. Kakamega is actually special because even as late as yesterday, we saw the leadership of Kakamega County, the current governor, the former governor, members of parliament, of course, within the ODM party. They claimed they were talking about stabilizing the ODM party. But from our sources there, they claim it's maybe to just pacify the ground for President William Ruto, because remember that the broad-based arrangement for Kilifi and the other counties that you mentioned.
Yeah.
One will argue that maybe these are counties that have traditionally not been friendly to the establishment. Maybe is there any other county where maybe something is working? Or it's the whole 47 counties, there's nothing that kicked off, never took off?
Well, honestly, I have been across this country. Probably I've stepped in every county in the last 2 years. And I will tell you without fear of contradiction that the noise is the same. Yes, it's national noise.
National noise.
What do you think is feeding this noise? Because, different people say different things. Is it palpable? And if you can feel it, what is it that people are saying that is frustrating them? Because the noise comes from when you can't keep something in anymore, whether it is the noise of joy or it's the noise of frustration. What is fueling this noise from your perspective?
We were promised, and the current establishment, as we call it, came in as in a promise, with a promise to the hustlers that they were going to bring them from down here to up here.
Yes,
and with a promise that healthcare was going to be universal and it wasn't going to be expensive; it was going to be affordable. With a promise that education was going to change and we were going to have a different set of taking kids to school and making sure that no child goes home because of school fees. We came in on a promise that every farmer was going to gain from their produce, whatever they're farming.
Yeah.
And we promised a lot of things that, right now have gone south. let's talk about healthcare. Well, as much as we're being told that SHA has registered more people than NHIF, I think that is a far-fetched story whereby we're talking about numbers, but you're not talking about the reality of the efficiency of the program, where Harambes have become more. We were told they were going to be a thing of the past, but they've become more because you go to hospital. I have been to many Harambes, people who are really poor, and this registration on the phone, when you register for the SHA, you find there are questions that they're asking, and then they will put you in a certain cadre for payment. And nobody wants to say that they're poor. So you will find someone really who can even not afford 1,000 shillings a day, has been told they'll pay 42,000 a year. Okay? Simply because you said that your house has floor.
Yeah.
Simply because you said that
you have a permanent house.
You have a permanent house.
When you open the tap and water comes out. Okay.
Yeah.
When you made the bricks by yourself.
Yeah. And nobody wants to say that I live in a semi-permanent house or in a rented house. When you ask, do you have a house? And you say yes, because I live in a house anyway. But the truth is, that's a hard worker, maybe a menial worker who actually makes very minimum wage, and has been told, maybe I've met several who are supposed to pay 12,000. Yeah. And
when they can't afford it.
And they can't afford it. And then when they go to hospital, the bill is 400,000, and the SHA is paying for them 40,000. So they wonder, why did I even pay the 42? Because they have even taken away my 2,000. Yeah. So I think when you talk about healthcare has just gone south. School about the capitation and all. Look at that. Look at that.
Do you think this is something that has been suggested?
Yeah.
Not just in Kenya, but in some countries, and they're actually enacting this.
Yeah.
As a leader, as somebody who is asking the hand of Kenyans for leadership again.
Yeah.
Do you think that public officials ought to be bound by regulations where they must attend public hospitals and their children or family must attend public school? There is an idea that if the influential in society have to use the amenities that everybody else has to use, then those amenities will work. Do you think that should be a necessity for leaders, politicians, people in positions of public office?
It should be, and I'll tell you something that is that will surprise you. My last born is 22.
Oh, that surprises me. Okay, but
yes, and my firstborn is 28. When my firstborn and my secondborn were born, I lived in Kirinyaga, and I took them to public hospital. I'm telling you.
Were you a woman rep by then?
No, that time even there was no devolution.
There was no devolution. There was no woman rep.
Sorry.
Yeah,
were you in the public limelight? Sorry.
I had money.
Oh, you had money.
Yeah, I would have gone to private hospitals because even my last born, he was even born in Aga Khan. Just that I got into labor when I was in Nairobi on business. But my daughter, my son, firstborn and secondborn, for the vaccination, when they were unwell, I took them to Kirogoya General Hospital. Actually, I know doctors and nurses by their names. Some of them actually have retired by now. But let me tell you, it was the best thing I would ever have done for my children, because incidentally, then public hospitals were the best places for kids because they were the most experienced. Nurses, doctors,
and the passion.
And the passion was there, And I used to feel...
So passion comes with remuneration and, of course, the welfare?
Yes, of course. And it was... I actually say it is it was not the same as it is today. As much as we are saying health was devolved, it is closer to the people. The governor should have taken care of hospitals and all that. You will find now there are issues about that in the hospitals, lack of medication and whatnot. I used actually to get medication from the same hospitals. Not that I lacked money to go to big hospitals, but because I had trust in them. Because when you went there, the treatment was equal to all, and we used to get medication for all, and there was a lot of dedication, especially with the nurses and the CEOs. It was on another level.
Essentially, you're saying that you leaders know what you've done to our public amenities, and so you do not have the trust in them because, of course, the trust has been eroded.
I am agreeing with her that there should be law that binds us, that once you're a public officer, you must attend the same hospital that you're the one that is in charge of. Yes.
Is it doable?
It is doable. It is doable. There's one of the governors I saw going to one of his hospitals.
It was actually the former governor of Makweni County.
Yeah.
Professor Kivu,
Yes.
who went regularly and actually for regular checkups as well as a surgery that he had to have.
Look at that. It's possible. I know it's possible because we have qualified doctors in those hospitals. It's just that we have not taken care of maybe the machines and the things that need to be in hospitals. Maybe those are the things that we haven't been able to push and make sure that our doctors, our nurses are well paid, the medics are well paid, and then we make sure all the amenities, everything that is necessary must be there in those hospitals. I think if we do that, then you can have enough faith. A lot of machines that are in those hospitals have broken down. You know why nobody will care? Because they don't need them. They don't have to go there. For example, my brother had a stroke a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago. In Kirinyaga, he lives in Kutus, and he was taken to Kirinyaga Hospital. If we didn't get him out of there, he would have died. So how many people die?
Because they can't afford.
Yes.
So here we are looking at a situation whereby there's almost a decision not to do certain things, because it's the same idea as affirmative action, where you create a woman rep position so that you essentially force the populace to understand that women can get positions of leadership, and then through that see what they can actually do. That's the idea. So then the same thing with these amenities that we talk about. You force a situation whereby everybody who would otherwise splurge money in a hospital where all the facilities were, then ignores the duty of care that they have to ensure that these facilities work, whether it's in health, whether it's in education, whether it's in markets. So if I have to go here, if I have to live here, if I have to be here, then it forces me to make sure that it is working. It's sad that we actually have to force a system like that, or even suggest that, please, you must attend it so that you fix it. But that's the kind of thing that we've gotten ourselves into, whereby, to an extent, leadership doesn't work. To that extent. So how then, for the people who are saying it's got to be better, or not even better, it's just, let's just have the thing working in the first place, then we can talk about better best tomorrow. So the leaders who are coming in, those who are going to retain their positions, what do you think has to be the position that they take for this noise that you hear that's coming out of frustration for Kenyans?
One, the leaders must take the position that they are taking the responsibility. Once you go for an elective seat, you are taking the responsibility of being answerable to the people with what you provide to them. That's one of the things that I say. When you spoke about the women rep position, look at how much the women rep get to achieve when they are women rep. Because what happens in parliament is that a woman rep has to prove herself. With the little guff money that they get, they tend to do more and to have more visible projects, because women are told we have to prove ourselves more than these guys. So we actually try and do it 10 times, to an extent that women reps get to even know where to solicit for funds to do things for the people in the village. Now, While you told me that we should be responsible, let me tell you another little story about my niece who was in a private hospital in Karatina, and a surgery went wrong, and she had to be transferred to Ngirici General Hospital, where she got all the ICU was working, everything was working, everything was functional. And that's when I realized, if a governor is really serious, you can get things streamlined and things can work within your county. So let all of us who are jostling and coming in and saying we want to come in as leaders, also get it into our heads that whatever you do, you must be ready to answer to these people. Not only answer, you must be ready to bring practicality of your words, to bring into work what you're saying, that must what you're telling people should be done. You must be ready to come and do it.
Okay.
Don't just push people and tell them, you will give me, this should have been done, that should have been done. Be the person to implement and bring out practical experience for these people. Let us change our country. Let's have the heart to change the country and our counties. Because I think if we don't do it now, nobody is going to do it for us.
Indeed. Purity Ngirici wants to be the next governor of Kirinyaga County.
Yes, yes.
Has a lot to say about maybe not be working, and what the last call that you've made is that then, if Purity Ngirici says it's not working, Purity Ngirici has to be the one to show people that it can work.
Yes.
Let's see. Thank you for being in the Situation Room this morning and giving us insights into some of those things. Looking forward to more discourse with you as we go into it. But thank you for coming this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate having been here.
Yep.
And I hope you will call me another day.
Let's see how it goes. Asante Sana. And we enter into more conversations. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.